Hi guys, today I want to talk to you about STDs or STDI. STI stands for sexually transmitted infection, and not all the sexual transmitted infection turn into a disease. That's basically the difference. There are millions of people with some kind of herpes or sexual transmitted infection. I'm gonna say in the video STD all the time because I think it's easier for me, but I refer about STD and STI, okay? Well, there are millions of people with any kind of herpes or STD. It is another health issue like diabetes, for example. Well, diabetes cannot be transmitted, although it has a genetic predisposition. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is that it's a health issue, like any other, and as such, it's not the end of the world. It doesn't make you who you are, it's just part of you, it doesn't define you. I do not care how you get it, when, where, or with who. It is part of your past and it depends only on you if you wanna say it or not. And the big problem about STDs is that it's still such a taboo that people who have any of them live with fear, guilt, shame, and people in general who are surrounded by one person who have any of them have so much curiosity about private questions that people don't really care, and usually they are full of judgment. And where does it bring us? Well, for example, to want to have sex with someone and even knowing that we have any STD, we don't say it. It's like if you know you have COVID and still you go to a pub to have some drinks with your friends in the same table without a mask, for example. And yes, I can understand the feelings of don't wanting to say anything because of the taboo, the rejection, the judgment, but it is not fair for any of you. And that's why we're here today watching this video, to try to eliminate the lack of information that we have. And myths. Let's go to something else. It is your responsibility to tell the person you're going to have sex with that you have herpes, for example. Unless you have an infection such as HIV, for example, and you know it, and you're in a treatment, and you already know in advance that your infection is undetectable, and that's okay because you know you won't transmit this disease to another person. And it is your responsibility, you that are going to have sex with someone that you don't know if has any STD, to want to use contraceptive methods or not, whether they're female condoms, male condoms, or barrier latex, because usually we're worried to don't have unwanted pregnancies, but we don't realize there is many STDI or STD that if we don't realize in time, it can screw us. Have sex with someone, it's awesome, but get upset the next day, the next month, or whenever you find out this person has chlamydia is not fair. Well, yes, of course, it's wrong if he or she knew and they didn't tell you. But you are responsible of your own body. And who knows, maybe this person didn't know it has chlamydia, syphilis, or whatever because it doesn't have periodic tests. So you have to be careful of yourself. Everyone is responsible of their own body. There are some STI, it depends on each one, that if you realize in time that you have it, you can cure them, and that's it. And reading some articles, I realized there is more than 1 million of chlamydia cases around the world. And I'm talking just about chlamydia. But it's not fair to blame society, because we are all part of it. And if we don't change ourselves, society won't either. And I think it's great you're gonna have sex with whoever you want, if the other person is agree, of course. But you can be responsible as well. That's all. But with condom is not cool. It just doesn't feel the same. My dear, if you end with genital warts, at least it won't feel the same either. But it's not gonna happen to me. Well, 2,000 people out of 100 inhabitants, not just adults having sex, in 2016 had syphilis. So it won't happen to me. It's very, very relative. And the brain is a very intelligent machine. And although it's obvious it doesn't feel the same having sex with a condom, just holding into that thought makes you like it less. Because that dangerous game of doing it without a condom is exciting, yes, okay, I get it. But be responsible. And at least if you're gonna continue having sex without a condom, which I'm not recommending, get tested of STD and STI. Using condoms of any type is the most effective way, apart of not having sex at all. And still is not 100% secure. It might break, maybe you've been touching genitals before using the condom, I don't know, it can be for many reasons, but it might happen. So I recommend you to get tested every 6 months if you have sex of any kind with more than one person, and one per year if you maintain exclusivity with a person. Do not be ashamed of going to ask for it, although it is normal the first time you go shy, but it's fun to see the face of the doctor sometimes, which still shows up the taboo that it exists even for doctors, so it's not that funny, but that's another thing. Apart from the doctor, if you're not sure to go there, there are centers specialized in the subject. Usually they're in big cities, but it's okay, you can just go to the closest and ask. And they can give you all the info that you need. You can get tested. I really recommend it. I will leave you the centers that I know. I will leave them in my stories in Instagram. I will save it, so anytime you need it, you can just go and check it. And if you know any that I didn't add, I invite you to write me or just leave it on the comments so people who watch the video have more options. And well, apart from this test, going once per year to the gynecologist is a must, because they usually do tests where they can find human papillomavirus, HIV, cervical cancer, uterine cancer, genital warts. And as a curious fact, it might sound funny, not peeing after vaginal penetration can increase the risk of urine infection, some types of fungi such as candidiasis, and although are not sexual transmitted infection, it can be transmitted if you don't use condom. It might seem like I'm promoting condoms, but I'm not. What I'm promoting and I'm trying to show you is how important it is to be responsible of ourselves, and of course trying to promote a sexual affective education, not like the one in school who only shows us sexuality in terms of reproduction. Well, there are quite a few of STD and STI, and I'm not gonna explain them all in this video, but I have made several publications on my Instagram, Soy Sexuada, with the most common ones, and you can go and search them. There are in Spanish in the beginning, and if you go swapping you will find the English version, and you will see how different are all of them, and you will see at the same time how many of them are asymptomatic in the beginning, and that's why we always say how important it is to get tested, because you might have it and you might don't know. Take care of yourself. And well, that's it. Go to my Instagram to know more, and I love feedback, so feel free to like the video, comment or share it. Much love to you all. Bye. And no me vengas a hablar aquí ahora, cariño. Am I ready? No, I'm not. It's undetectable. We said with the not still having sex. Yes, okay, thank you. Going to the gynecologist. I don't know.